In advance, you received the minutes from May 24th, 2022. Any comments related to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve? Thank you. Second. All right, thank you. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, moving on to action items 2.1. Recommend approval of payroll certification. Any questions or comments? Motion? Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor, aye? Aye. Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? All right, moving on to 2.2, recommend approval of petty cash.
Always a big one.
Yeah. Any questions or comments? Move approval?
So moved.
All right. Second? All in favor, aye? Aye. Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 2.3, recommend approval of the 2022-2023 Entrepreneurial Assistance Center grant.
Oh, this is a standard annual
Grant, yeah.
training program we run.
Good morning, Margaret, welcome.
Good morning, thank you. I'm sorry I'm late.
That's all right, no
Couldn't find a
worries.
parking place.
Have a packet for you if you need it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep. And we are on action items 2. We just started 2.3. Yeah, second. All right, we'll start again on 2.3, recommend approval of 2022-2023 Entrepreneurial Assistance Center grant. Motion?
Move.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor, aye? Aye. Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 2.4, recommend approval of federal college work study allocation incentive payment. Thank you. Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 2.5, recommend approval of fiscal year 2023 SUNY High Needs Localities Fund Allied Health Program.
One you've heard about. Just on the books.
Any discussion? Thank you. Second. Thank you. Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 2.6, recommend approval of 84.425 T Broome CC supplemental support under American Rescue Plan. Any discussion? Motion?
Move.
Thank you. Second. All in favor, aye? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 2.7, recommend approval of SUNY WD STEM Industry Pathways Grant Award.
Move.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor, aye? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 2.8, recommend approval of AW 2022-23 Student Emergency Fund Grant Award.
I'll move it.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor, aye? Aye. Anyone? I got ahead of myself. Anyone object? Anyone abstain? All right, 2.9, recommend approval of resolution for unpaid leave of absence for Bradley Pearl. Motion. Thank you. Second.
But, I'll second.
Thank you, Margaret. All in favor, aye? Aye. Anyone opposed? 2.10, recommend approval of resolution for unpaid leave of absence for Giovanni Scaringi. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Do they get paid? Make up the difference between what he's getting paid in the military and what he's getting paid here, or he just gets his full salary?
Well, he is getting his salary for the, for the military. Otherwise, he would have been asking to be paid by us. If it's not, it's unpaid.
It's unpaid.
Yeah. it's
Okay,
unpaid.
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
differentiation. Okay,
No.
great. I forgot.
All right, motion.
I'll move it.
Thank you. Second. Thank you, Jim. All in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 2.11, recommend approval of resolution for the new position description of senior associate to the vice president of academic affairs.
Does this supplant another thing, or is it a two together, or
This is just cleaning up when the prior chief academic officer was here. His title was executive vice president. So all we're doing here is
Changing the name.
changing the titles and some very minor modifications to some of the duties. It's an existing employee, but the job description is not quite accurate based on changes that were made with the current chief academic officer.
Okay, I'll move it.
Thank you. Second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed or anyone abstaining? Recommend approval of circular or virtual student community renewal for academic year 2022-24.
122.
20.12 or 2.12, excuse me.
I'll move that.
All right. Thank you, Jim. All in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? All right, 2013, recommend approval of construction change orders for the ongoing 2021-2022 paving sidewalk contract.
Move.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? 2014, recommend approval of the 22-23 state incremental funds awarded to SUNY Broome. Any discussion or questions?
I'll move it.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret. And second, thank you, Jim. All in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right. 2015, recommend approval of the participating institution agreement from SUNY for the Blackboard Learn Bundle and Blackboard Alley archive licenses. Any questions?
Is this part of the connection we're building with some, or no? We're just
This
doing
is
the
separate.
No, this
same
is-
Blackboard, the same.
Yeah.
Well, the SUNY's migrating. This is all, SUNY's migrating from Blackboard.
Oh.
So it's all changing.
It's just based.
So it's
in-
just,
okay.
Just extending the license that we already have for another year. While we implement a new system, we have to run the existing system
Right.
parallel.
Parallel.
So we get the opportunity to pay for both systems during the.
isn't that fun? Huh?
Yes.
And it's a privilege. like-
Welcome to SUNY.
Wow, okay.
All right, motion? Thank you, second.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? All right, last one, 2.16, recommend approval of RFP 2022-11 budget and planning enterprise management solution subscription professional services with Centellus Axion. Any discussion? Questions? Motion?
Move.
Thank you, second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? All right, Barbara, by the way, is running a little bit late. She just sent a note. Slow down, there, form. All right, informational items, President Trump.
Yes, good morning. I'm getting ready to start relatively normal semester. Not gonna be much normal about it, given everything that's going on. Enrollment continues to hover at around -4.5. It fluctuates right around -4.5. As you know, we budgeted for -5. We'll see this week, we continue to enroll up until the week before
Yeah.
class will start. That's, as always, we just don't put the big push on to rush people out of the bushes, at the last minute. And as you see, we've done a lot of paving and upgrading over the summer, so.
It does look nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're doing some landscaping down here in front of the parking lot that is adjacent to the parking lot adjacent to the student village. To do some landscaping to clean up that area, since for better or worse, we don't need all the parking that we have today and online, and hybrid continues to grow nationally. So continue to step up the campus. We've had no major changes in personnel, you know that Kim is filling in for Michelle Snyder, who retired, and is overseeing our health science area. Faculty will be back, so that'll be a new role there with Kim as our faculty come back. And that's the biggest change that the folks will notice is Kim over there. Not the first time that's happened. Deans before her were interim for at least several months or a semester. We'll see how it works out. So at least the third time in my 12 years here that we've made that. It's all part of our continued attempt to downsize in the process of catching up to our enrollment. Hopefully we will level out this year. We'll see. As I think you know, we've talked about it numerous times. The high school graduation rate from this point forward fluctuates up and down a point or two all the time, year after year. Year after year, our high school graduation rate. Now, I don't know whether COVID. We'll see when the next update to the census comes out whether there's a change in our younger population. Certainly, we have more young families on my street than we've had in the last 10 years or so. But they're young, and they're not going to go to college anytime soon. Maybe 10 years from now. So COVID certainly brought some of that kind of renewal to our street. We have a lot of houses on my rural street, but it's noticeable. Families that are there now that simply weren't. We got there 12 years ago, and for most of the last decade, where it's nice to see. However, we will be seeing another birth dearth as a result of the COVID birth rate. In another 15, 16 years, those juniors and seniors, now after almost going on 3 years of COVID, will be smaller even than they are today. So, given the conversations going on today, we need to be prepared for another hitch in the next decade. Just the way the world is going. And as you know, we have lots of irons in the fire to address that, and I'm sure more to come. And I begin my last year in the captain's chair, and we'll see how that goes. It's already gotten very interesting, as most of you know, and it's only going to get more interesting as the year goes on. More to come as different things hit us over the course of the next months and the year. That concludes my report for this morning, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Unless anybody has any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Michael, budget and finance update.
Thank you. So in your packet is the monthly budget forecast. It's the same. We're forecasting the need for about 3.5 million of stimulus money to ensure a balanced budget. We think we may have a shot at decreasing that by a couple $100,000, but with less than 2 weeks, about 2 weeks remaining in this current fiscal year, it's another 2 months as we do accruals, and there's several that are pretty large that we don't get some retirement information until the better part of late September, early October. We present to finance committee our write-offs and bad debt. So we've got a couple of big numbers that we're still working our way through. So I don't think it'll be any more than this 3.5 million, but we think that's a reasonably solid number. Just wanted to, I think some of you may have met Laura Hodel, who's really taking on two major responsibilities, financial aid as well as the human resource function. Always make the titles very long and complicated. So here's my test for today. I think it's the Assistant Vice President of Human Resources and Financial Student Finance. Is that right?
That close it
There you
off?
go.
Okay.
So
Impressive.
welcome Laura. She's survived 16 days.
Who's counting?
And so really welcome her. She'll be a great asset to the whole college team, much less administration and finance.
Yeah, and if I could just say, Michael, given her background in student finance, it brings a whole new perspective, because as Lynn did, she always sat in on executive meetings on Tuesday mornings. And Laura brings a whole new perspective, having been in student finance for her whole career. So it's really nice to have that perspective at the table as well when we meet.
Yeah, I think, we're in part of our own strategic planning, and we just did a community needs assessment, and I was struck by the density of poverty
Mhm.
that is just growing exponentially. So I think
There's a number of us that went through a poverty immersion program, and the three of us so far have become poverty coaches to really work with the campus to understand how they can better serve our community and our students.
nice, it's great. It really is somewhat startling.
Who do you
That's-
coach, the students or the faculty?
Actually, it's more faculty and staff. And it's not so much, it's understanding the history of poverty and also understanding the situations the students may be facing when they're coming in. For example, if a student comes in late, just let it be. They may have been coming from a second job, taking care of somebody that was sick, and then also creating a space that if a student does approach anybody on campus, they can connect them with the resources that they need so that they can persist. Because what they have found is that if you can meet the basic needs of the students, so connect them with the resources they need, they will persist and be successful.
Mhm. And you only have three of them, three coaches, right?
We've started just this past semester. So schools that have done this, we've had one, the president came and did a Zoom speak. And their graduation, retention, and enrollment has gone up tenfold by instituting this culture of caring. So there's a group that's building on that. So this just started this past semester.
And we sent 10 people to the Institute and three
And
of them.
three became
Oh,
coaches.
okay. And then you're doing things here, right?
Yes.
And it just sort of strikes me that at the counselors meeting, maybe this coming year, that would be great to have
Yeah,
that front and center, because I think about middle school and high school and how many kids are living in poverty. My old Clinton High School, good Lord, I think 80% of the kids going there now are in poverty. It wasn't like that when ancient, but still, over decades, how that has shifted.
And about 70% of our students are considered poverty, high need.
Yeah, just
70%, wow, okay.
thank you for doing that. It's a great service to the campus and to the students. So
The other thing I just wanted to, now that we're back in person and we have a few new finance committee members, just wanted to introduce Larry Allen, who I can't remember his title, but we uniquely, between Dr. Hain, Dr. Kelly and myself, Larry is kind of the guru of the budget side of the equation. He does the monthly budget forecast with a couple of edits by me generally, and prepares the budget, really knows the detail of the budget, really did the budget, the document presentation for a report we were required to submit recently. And in addition, Larry also does a lot in the academic world with institutional effectiveness. So he's pretty uniquely, as we kind of restructure some jobs and positions. Dr. Kelly and I both get about 75% of Larry, so that's about 1.5 FTEs. But so I wanted to introduce him because he does a tremendous amount of work for the college and just have a very, very strong and deep bench, both academically as well as on finance and administrative side. Rest of the report are just standard reports, kind of put the human resources update, take a little pressure off of Laura, put that under my update. It's just a standard report we file every month. The grant approvals that are under 50,000 come under this update. Our investment report, as modest as it is with the rates, banks were refusing to even bid on, as you probably, several of you probably know. And also, we just indicate that we made our monthly, housing maintenance monthly debt to Key Bank. So that's the update for this month.
Great, thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments? Welcome to you both. Thank you for being here today. All right. Hearing no questions, we'll move on. Facilities, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy, and good morning, everyone. You have my report in front of you. It's fairly lengthy because we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good stuff. I'll hit the highlights. As you know, the Speedy Fest was last weekend. We coordinated with Broome County officials to ensure parking was provided and transportation over to and from the park, and that worked out really well. Went without a hitch. Probably the best news we've received in a while is the materials were finally delivered for the replacement of the library roof. It was nearly a year in getting those materials, so the contractor started work about a month ago. That's Weathermaster, and the project is about 25% complete. And as you can see, we expect to complete that in late November, or I'm sorry, September, early October. We also issued a notice to proceed with the replacement of the Student Center / West Gymnasium roof. AB Construction and Roofing is the contractor for that, so he will be getting going within the next few weeks as well. If you've walked up from parking lot 1 recently, you've noticed, I hope, that the Battisti pergola is completed. All that's left to do there is the addition of some sconce lighting, solar powered sconce lighting, but the pergola is completed. And it really, our guys did the construction, and it really looks good. So if you have a chance, walk by that and take a look, because it's a nice testament to Francis.
Beautiful. Francis and I are having lunch there tomorrow. If anybody wants to come by and say hi.
Right, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, Penny and I met out there last week. It's the benches are really comfortable, and it's a good place to meet. So we've received proposals for both the construction management and architectural services portion of the Decker Health Science Nursing renovation work. So we have already interviewed the construction management applicants, and we'll be making a recommendation to the board. And then following that up with the architectural recommendation, so that design can get going on that project and we can get to construction in early 2023. Believe it or not, spring or fall sports have started. We prepped the soccer field, and both the boys and girls soccer teams are underway. Couple of other items. Dr. Drum mentioned it briefly. We continue to improve landscaping across campus. In fact, one of the most recent efforts out in front of the student center was a rework of the garden out front there, and our landscaping team put a small fountain in. But out front on Front Street in particular, you can see where we've eliminated some blacktops and parking lot, and we're going to convert that to grass, and then some trees and some ornamental shrubs along the parking lot in front of the student village. Work continues on the campus wide paving and sidewalk contract. That's nearing completion. It's mainly left as parking lot striping, paving of a new pedestrian walkway that we provided, and then hydro seeding. We continue work on the HVAC systems, both in the library and business. Yesterday, we had a meeting with the architect for the restrooms in both Old Science and Student Services. So we've got preliminary plans for those restroom renovations nearly complete, and we'll continue to tweak those and get those to contract as soon as we can. There was a photo lab relocation meeting last week, and that is being finalized. And lastly, and pretty important from the standpoint of our sports programs, we've been in contact and coordinating with the Broome County Parks Department. The Bags Ice softball complex is going to be renovated, and that's our home field. One of those fields is the SUNY Broome home field. So we're going to work with them to try to ensure that they implement the facilities that we need there to make it a successful field for us. There's been some issues in the past, but I think with Broome County taking it over, it's going to be a much more positive outcome. And lastly, and Michael Sullivan and I have talked about this, we're trying to connect the northwest side of the campus as an athletic part of the campus, which is being driven in somewhat by the Bags Eye softball complex renovation, and perhaps tie that into our own baseball field renovation and some other improvements that we're looking to do on the athletic side. So that side of the campus will undergo, I don't want to say a transformation, but it'll become more of an athletic oriented part of the campus as opposed to previous years. So if anyone has any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Any questions for Dave? No, Dave, great report. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy.
No questions from the committee. All right, you already have the human resource report. Thank you, Michael. So any other items to come before the committee today? All right, moving on, the next second up will be Tuesday, June. Oh, I'm looking at, honest to God, I'm looking at my old minutes. Okay, welcome to my. Yeah.
September sometime.
Yes, Tuesday, September 13th, 2022, back here in this room. All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. We have a first and second, all in favor, aye. All right, thank you very much to everybody. Dave, enjoy your time off.
So thank you very much. Really, I can't believe that you were up here, Kathy.
No, you gotta walk down to the end of the street to Mayor One, turn right, go past Channel View, and you'll see a blue cottage with a green fence around it. I hate the fence.
If I find it, I'll take a picture.
Yeah, we never had a fence.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Where is it?
Up at the St. Lawrence River, near Clayton.
In here, Clayton? Ah.
Yep.